This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Mike, look at my surroundings. Guess where I'm back? I'm back in Vegas, baby. I am back in Vegas.
Back at Mom's, I could tell by the 70s style lamp and the Kitschke plates on the wall behind you.
Yo, I feel like I'm in some kind of disco inferno, man. I got like the old school plates. I got the disco lights. I'm back at Mom's, but Mom's ain't here. So it's just me and the dog hanging out, ready to hit the tat tomorrow. 2 squads, 10 a.m. noon. And then Saturday, hopefully I don't have to bowl, but if I do, back a few more squads, and then we'll see how I feel. But yeah, so I'm back in Vegas.
Okay. I mean, you're number one, you're always on the move. Number two, you always got a spot. That's number 2. You always got a spot.
Always.
And good to see you out there. You know, you get to kill 2 birds with one stone. You get to check in on Mom's and say what's good. And then
Mom's not here.
Oh no, where's she at?
She's got a vacation home in Alaska.
In Alaska.
Yeah, man. She's out there. Do you want to talk about someone who's on the move, man? My mom's.
That's on
Mom's
the move.
Dukes. Mom's Dukes got a house in Alaska.
Who buys a vacation house in Alaska?
For the summer. She lives in Vegas in the winter and in Alaska in the summer. You got
What's so great about Alaskan summers? I don't.
Dude, she's by the river. They go fly. They have fishing wheel and a boat, and it's like super outdoorsy. It's super nice there. I've never been out there, but I hear it's like gorgeous. Like, yo, if you want to get away, man, get out of New Jersey, get out of the grind. You go to Alaska, get yourself a fishing pole.
Well, if I want to go, I'll hit you up and see if I can stay at your mom's vacation house there.
Dude, my mom's got all kinds of stuff going on. She's the real grinder of the family, man. Nobody knows about Mom's Dukes. So
true.
Yeah, dude.
So I guess we should get into. Oh, well, today's my first day back to work after 10 weeks of being off. No, I don't say it in that way. Happy to be back. Blessed to have the checks rolling in again, starting on September 15th. So
the checks.
Me and my wife. Neither of us get any checks during the summer, so it's always nice to have those checks rolling in again. And obviously football is going to be starting. Looking forward to the fall. My daughter's playing travel soccer this fall, and we got the schedule today. Every single game is like Sunday at 1:00. Every single soccer game. So there's about 10 games. So yeah, I'll miss a good part of the football season this year. But I'll take the Eagles games and make sure that I follow up on them. We should get into
worse. I think I'm trying to get the lighting good, man. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you care about how you appear. I care about whether we can hear or not.
No, I just don't want the fans to be blinded. I don't want our people to talk shit about how they're blinded by the light. Let's get into it. So you don't have any bowling. Well, you bowled Greg Tack's tournament, right? So you want to get in that first because I got a bunch of bowling that I've done.
I did bowl Greg Tack's Masters tournament. It was basically like a squad event where there were 2 squads. You could bowl one, you could bowl both fresh. Man, they were tough. It was a tricky pattern. It was a very tricky pattern. It was like short, but with hook on the gutter, but they were tight. It was like tight, but they weren't that tight though. Like it was basically if you got it too far right, you just couldn't wheel it right. You couldn't wheel it right. You had to place it right. You had to place it right and get it right to that right spot. And if you went too far right of that spot, it was going in the gutter.
Sounds like he used a lot of volume on a short pattern. That's what it
I don't
sounds
know.
like.
It wasn't that much volume either. It was strange when I looked at the graph. Anybody who wants to see, you can go New Jersey Sport Bowling Facebook page. I think he put out the graph. But yeah, just it was tough. It was a really funky, confusing pattern. So Sunday was my wife's birthday. We had family here that had stayed over the previous night. We had more family coming over that day. So my game plan was I'm going to bowl the 9 a.m. squad. If I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. If I make it, I was going to go home, do the birthday thing with the wife for a little while, and then come back and bowl the finals. If I didn't make it, obviously I'm freed up for the rest of the day to do things with the wife. So I won't waste too much time talking about it. I used urethane early. It was probably the best way to go, but I didn't execute it well enough. I missed a few makeable spares. I dumped a few in the channel at inopportune times. I'll be honest, like after looking at the cut score at 1 p.m. after the 1 p.m. squad, I kind of felt dumb because I was out there looking for 230 or 240, and I should have been looking for 200. 205 at max. And yeah, I just had the wrong mindset. I was fishing here and there and worrying about trying different things. And really what I should have done is just stuck with what I had and threw better shots and made my spares. And
but though,
the first couple games,
you've been bowling Greg Tack's event for so long.
I know, but they looked really scoreable though. Like
you got faked out.
I swear, I felt like if I just execute, I can shoot 250 on this. And there were some guys that when you looked around, and I think this helped fake me out, but there were some guys who were putting up a number here or there, right? And I was looking at what they were doing, and it was similar to what I was doing, and I just felt like, man, if I could just execute a little bit better, catch a break here or there, oh my God, there was one game where I went. It was later on. It was probably like game 3 or game 4. I was still in urethane. It was starting to labor. I throw the first frame. I go 2-8-10. Right. I get 2. I switch balls right away. Okay. Make the right ball switch. Move a little left. Pin down ball. Web MB. Little stronger in the back than the urethane, but it's still going to scoot through the front. I go solid 9, solid 8, solid 9, ring 10, 4 shots in a row. Okay. And I made them all. I made all the spares. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When they're that tough, right? When they're that tough, and that just getting to plus is probably going to put you in the cut, to have a string of 4 shots like that and you only strike once, or 5, 6 shots like that and you only strike twice, it kills me. It just kills me. It rips my heart out. It really does. Because then what happens after that string of 9s is I inevitably throw a bad one at some point and wash out and open. And now it's like, well, not only did I not get the 4 in a row, but now the open hurts me even more because I didn't get the 4 in a row. So yeah, I went I sent my scores out on Twitter. So you can see, all you got to do is go to my Twitter, and I sent my scorecard out. But my last game was horrendous. I was trying different things. I decided to move in and switch balls again, and I wasn't even really shooting spares. I was throwing different balls in to see what they were doing. And I shot 120 something my last game. But going into the last game, I think I was only minus 70. And again, I was kind of thinking oh yeah, if I could pop a 250 here, and then it got off to a bad start, and I was like, all right, forget it. I'm just going to try a couple different things. But yeah, I went 180, 190, 180 the first 3, and then I think 180, 190 again the 4th game. So I was about minus 70 going into that final game. Nonetheless, it was a good tournament. Who won? I know who won. Give me a second. Bob Moran, tell us who won in the chat. You probably remember who won too. It's escaping me right now. Well, I know Pelusic won the tournament the day before, and I think he finished in the top 4 or 2, which was pretty impressive because I tweeted out that there was a professional bowler there who went sub 500 for the first three, and it
All
was
right,
him
what's
that
good,
I was
man?
talking about. It was him that I was talking about, and
Listen,
he came back in the second squad and ended up leading the second squad and almost leading the entire thing. And then he made the final four. Jason Cornog, that's right. Yeah, he's been bowling really good. He's been bowling really good lately.
all right,
So
Mike.
he
Well,
won.
let me get it.
So
Well, let me
hold
let
on,
me
hold
get
on.
it
Wait, I have more. I have more before I turn the platform over. This might be it. Seriously, this might be.
league. You're
Yeah,
done.
this might be it. And this might turn in. I don't know. You can respond if you want, or people in the chat can respond if they want. But I don't know if this will turn into a discussion or not. But if it does, it does. The league is officially dead.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to the
pour
sport
one
league.
out. Pour one
The
out.
league is officially dead. Just couldn't get anything off the ground. Couldn't get enough people to get anything off the ground. Now, I want to talk for a minute about why I think this league failed. But
I mean, we know why it failed.
I think there's several reasons.
People aren't bowling.
No, I don't think that's it. I mean, you don't
people
need.
were bowling, they would have failed.
Yeah, well, in general, yes, but I think it's a little more complicated. Than like people are bowling, other leagues are filled up. Other leagues have full rosters, full houses, etc. So why not a league that bowls on something more competitive, right? I think there's different reasons for that, right? But it's tough to get the numbers right, and there's another sport league that's around me, right, on a different night, on Monday nights at Majestic Lanes.
Majestic.
And I've bowled it in the past, but I couldn't bowl it anymore because bowling 2 nights was tough. I want to bowl that, but hold on, it would require me to rearrange my entire family's Monday schedule. Okay, like we have all this stuff. My kids have stuff going on Mondays. My wife has stuff going on Mondays. So if I was to say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to bowl on Monday," it would absolutely completely rearrange my entire family schedule for at least the first half of the year, until Christmas. So that's tough to do, especially at the last minute. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I will say this, like, and somebody in the chat, David Pekow, is saying, yeah, a lot of people are bowling at Majestic. There's really not that many bowling at Majestic, and here's the other thing, David. There's not a lot of crossover people to Majestic from the league that I was bowling. I think there might only be 3 to 5 people across the board who bowl that league, but also bowl the other league. But here's my thing: how can there be 2 competing leagues? There ain't even enough people for one league. So how are you going to have 2 competing leagues? I think in the situation that we're currently in, if you're going to do something, try something like a sport league, it has to be an all-out one opportunity in a whole as large of a geographic area as you can draw from to try and get the numbers that you're trying to get. But other reasons that I think the league failed, I think it's because scratch versus handicap is still a problem. I thought the handicap system worked well in this league. I thought it was extremely fair. But I think that scratch bowlers get mad anytime they lose to people getting handicap. And I think the people getting the handicap get tired of shooting the same scores and losing, and there's not a lot of opportunity to get better out there. I think that that comes from a lack of learning, obviously, a lack of incentive to learn. And honestly, my last point on this is that the industry supports the fraudulent side of the game for their own benefit. Like, you have a lot of pro shops out there, a lot of ball companies out there. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with a professional bowler this week. I'm not going to say who it was, but it was a conversation on Twitter, and we talked about this same issue. And I told this person, like, if you guys don't become more vocal in trying to take people from the fraudulent side of the game and moving them over to the more challenging side of the game, the more challenging side of the game is likely to die a slow death sooner than later. Because what the industry has done is they have propped up the fraudulent side of the game. You know, you have a lot of guys who get free bowling balls and bowl on nothing but house shots, bowl on nothing but the fraudulent side of the game. You know, imagine for a second, if, you know, and this is one of the things that I brought up in this conversation. Imagine if ball companies started to say, you know, hey, no one's getting free equipment from us unless you have some kind of regular sport bowling participation that you can prove and have people vouch for on your resume. What if ball companies started to say, nah, you know what? We're not gonna post everybody that hits us up with a 300 or an 800. Let's try and seek out people that are bowling them on sport conditions. You know, what would that do? What effect would that have? That's what I'm asking. What effect would that have if the companies and the really high level bowlers out there started to kind of question those things and take that stance and say to people who have reached a certain level in the game, hey, it's time for you to now go over and try this. Like, you know, don't come to me and tell me you shot another 300 unless it's on this. You know, unless it's on something more challenging.
But how would that help them sell bowling balls, Mike?
Well, that's why I say that they're propping up the fraudulent side of the game for their own benefit.
Of course. Well, it's not your own benefit. It's making money. We're in a
it is in the interest of making money, but it's, you know, I don't know. Fault. It's not in the interest of the game.
It's not the bowling ball company's fault. They're private businesses that want to make money.
Wouldn't they sell?
Fault Storm.
But at the same time, who buys more bowling balls? The people bowling on house nonsense, or the people that are bowling on the challenging conditions? And if they
people who bowl in the house nonsense.
No way.
Yeah,
no
dude.
Way. Nah.
Let me tell you something. No, you're so full of shit. The 220 and average, the 215 plus average bowler in general is like 5% of the bowling population, Mike. And you got to work in a pro shop to understand that.
Okay,
and that's the first thing I learned at Ken Keegan.
I understand that. I get that. Right. I totally understand it. That wasn't really my point. My point was this: the people, the competitors that bowl the more challenging stuff, they drill more bowling balls themselves on average than your average Joe Blow league bowler who drills one ball every year, one ball every other year. Will you give me that?
But there's more of those house bowlers that bowl.
No question. But here's my point. If the industry was trying to move more of those house bowlers that we're talking about, right? And you're right, there's tons and tons of them compared to very few of the other guys, right? But if the industry was trying to move more of those people to the other side, to where they're gonna get even deeper into the sport. They're going to spend more money on equipment. They're going to build a bigger arsenal of bowling balls. They're going to be bowling on more complicated stuff. You know, their leagues are going to switch patterns every year, which is going to require them to fill a couple pieces in their arsenal. You don't, you know, I mean, I think it's short-sighted to not see the benefit of that.
It is the benefit of this, but I think you're not understanding something. It's going to be impossible to turn those bowlers over from house league that they're averaging 230 to all of a sudden now an average 175 on a sports shot. You want to know how to improve the sport is you start from the young generation. You start from the kids and you put them on sports shots and let them grow up on the sport, because it's impossible to convert regular like league house legends that are averaging 225 over to the 190 average sports side. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's
that idea stinks though, because if you leave it up to just the younger people, okay, if you rely just on the younger people, what happens then is they get to the level where they want to compete at the adult level. And because what you said before is true, where it's 10-1 or 20-1 house guys to competitive guys, right? The only outlets that they have are on the house shit. And they think, oh, all right, well, if that's the only place that there's going to be an outlet, let me go compete in that outlet. And they get sucked into that. And that other side of the game never gets built. That's what I'm saying. So like,
I mean, no, I think if there's enough kids that are growing up on the sports shots, those kids grow up to run the leagues and to run the sport tournaments and run the
bullshit.
Sport leagues. If we had two bowlers, Greg
if that
Tack
were the,
and Theo are both old bowlers that are the ones that are running sport tournaments. You need more of those type people.
Sport tournaments, yes. Sport tournaments, yes. Not leagues, though. Not
Maybe.
leagues. Like you haven't seen there hasn't been the impact of the younger people in developing more
I think you're
winter
wrong.
sport leagues.
I think you're wrong. I think it's easier to start. It's like
Fair point.
teaching a kid how to swim. It's easier to teach them as a kid to learn how to swim than to grow up as a 40-year-old trying to learn how to swim. Like that's just my opinion. I mean, it's just what you're suggesting is you're trying to convert these house bowlers that are bowling on the fraudulent side of the game to turn them over from averaging 230 now to 190. Most likely that's not happening. Like a lot of those guys are not going to be doing that. Their egos are way too big. We saw that in the chat. Their egos are way too big. They're way too in their own head.
Fraudulent. We should just say, well, listen, that was fraudulent. So sorry.
It's not the bowling. It's not the bowling ball. It's not the bowling ball company's fault. It's not the PBA bowlers' fault.
It's the USBC's fault.
It's the USBC and it's the proprietors.
It's the proprietors' faults as well. You're right.
But you can't blame the proprietor because they're trying to make money too.
What I'm saying is owners. The rest of the industry as well. The bowling balls, the pro shops, etc. Like, I get it. I get it that it's a business. But at some point,
hi, Dawn. Glad to see you. Appreciate tuning in. My son, who is 13, does a house shot in the fall league, and he turns to sports shot leagues in the summer. And he loves the sports shot. He's the youngest in the sports shot. The older guys are surprised how well he does. But it shows you how a 13-year-old at that age, except if you were me at 13, doesn't really have a big ego at that age. You know what I mean? You're 13, you're 11, 12. You're still learning. You don't really understand, you don't think you're the best walking in, except if you were me.
Right. There's no ego. There's no ego. You're right.
Right.
I agree with you 100%. I know. In that regard.
Just turning them over is the hard part. 13-year-olds are easy to turn over. You give them, hey, this is the stuff that Jason Belmonte bowls on every week. And then you go, oh, I want to try that. You tell a 55-year-old who has 100 honor scores in a year, hey, Jason Belmonte bowls on that shot. They go, well, would I be able to bowl 3,300s this year?
Just answer this question for me, seriously. Mm-hmm. What would be the effect if some entities in bowling started to push the issue of sport bowling participation? For instance, right? What if ball companies started to highlight high series by people on a sport condition like a 660 over a 300 game or an 800 series on house? Hold on. What would be the effect of something like county halls of fame? Okay, local halls of fame saying we're not taking anybody unless you have sport bowling experience or accomplishment. Why are you laughing at me, son?
Have you seen these people in the local associations? Have you seen these people? Wait till I get to my tournament experience about the local associations, okay?
Oh, my God.
These people are like 140, Mike. You think they know between us what the difference between a six... Look, the backlash is...
But no, you're not answering my question. Though. Answer my question. What would the effect of those things be? Would there be any impact from those things?
Yes. All the internet trolls that are still bowling on those house shots and averaging 230 will see a 660 posted and be like, "What? I bowled 660 10 weeks in a row. Why is this getting posted?" Because it's not. Look, it's the lack of education in the sport. It's the lack of.
So would that do it?
No. What really has to happen is the USBC has to. And I've said this numerous times on the show, but they won't do it because it's going to cost them a lot of membership numbers, and it's a lot of budgeting, and it's a lot of stuff that they're not going to be able to recoup. They might lose 50% of the membership if they went to the proprietors and said, "We will only sanction leagues that are on sport type tournament type conditions."
No, I'm not going that far. I'm saying, what if the higher levels of the community decided, you know what I mean? Like the ball PBA, companies, the PBA, the ball companies, the county halls of fame, the USBC. So I don't know. I'm just saying. It's
All
just
right.
a mess. It's a mess,
It's
son. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for taking up a whole half hour with this,
No,
but
it's
this
fine.
this may be the last like league report people get from me for a while because definitely not anything going on until early October. I'm going to try and get out and bowl some events, and I'll
Don't
be
worry, I
practicing,
got plenty
obviously.
I got plenty of league review and tournament reviews.
But
So
I'm going to say this. I'm going to put this out there because I know people listen to this show without saying they listen to this show. So I'm going to say this. Anybody that knows me locally, even if you don't know me, if you have know of me, I know of you, whatever, you want an action match on a pattern, hit me up. I'll take the match.
I wish I didn't know you.
Almost against anybody.
I wish I didn't know you and I heard this challenge.
If you don't
I would
have
fucking laugh.
a PBA regional title, okay? If you're a PBA
Wait,
regional
now
titleist,
you're like now you're cutting out you're like Dougie. What are you gonna
I'm
have
not-
now? Action
No,
averages?
listen,
If you don't average 215,
listen,
action's
I'm
action.
not-
You
I
want
am not a
match,
professional. I am not a professional. Okay. If you have professional titles, professional level titles, nah, you go compete against the professionals. I'm talking about
Fair
amateur
enough.
bowlers here. Okay.
Okay.
But I'm putting it out there. All right. I'm putting it out there. Brian Olson is checking in late, asking why I'm not bowling. It's because the league is folding, Brian, due to lack of interest. I'm going to try and get something going. But
half hour about.
again, if anybody wants an action match, hit me up. I definitely have the ability to get patterns out of various different places. So, if you want a match, if you want to get some action in, definitely hit me up.
All right, I'm gonna try to be quick here, but I got some venting to do. Okay.
Then this ain't gonna be quick.
Sunday, I bowled the USBC Arizona Masters tournament. Okay. And it was at a Bolero center. Okay. We walked in and it was 90 degrees in the center.
Preach. Same thing for me. Same thing for me at the Greg Tack event.
Yo,
I wasn't going to harp on it, but it was
thank
ridiculous.
God I made this amazing $35 investment on Amazon a few weeks ago where I bought one of those USB-C charging fans. And I just I will literally have my rosin bag towel in one hand and this fan in the other. And I carry it from pair to pair. And I saw a lot of people doing that. I'm like, man, why am I not doing that? Mike, I was literally sitting there like I was in the NFL, or if I was a boxer in between rounds, with the fan wrapped around my arms and I had my head on the fan. It was miserable. On top of that, okay, they tell everybody on Facebook on Saturday that they're capped out on entries. Okay, no more entries. The entries are shut down. Okay, everybody starts complaining. Okay. Oh, you shut entries down. What are you? Bullshit, whatever. So what do they do that Sunday? They tell everybody that they're going to let everybody in, that nobody's going to be shut out. So what does that mean? 7 on a pair. Okay. 7 on a pair, 90 degrees center. Okay. Now, not only does it now taking an hour a game because it's on a hard shot and nobody's fucking striking. It's 90 degrees, and look, I'm not going to talk about the quality of bowler, but let's just say it wasn't the greatest, okay? Because it just wasn't, okay? So now, dude, it is exhausting. We started at 9, okay? And we didn't get done with qualifying until 3:30 or 3:45 p.m., okay? I was miserable. And you know me, I hate waiting, okay? Any high level, nobody likes waiting in between shots, okay? Not, unless you're bowling a team tournament. Team is different, okay? Because you're into your team. I couldn't give 2 craps what other people were doing. Anyway, how I bowl, start off terrible. Can't make a shot, shoot 160 out of the gate, struggling. Get to the third game, and all of a sudden I make a ball switch to an RSTX3 that I just drilled. I move left. All of a sudden, my hand is in the right spot. I'm like, oh, shit, I got a great look. I go front 10. Okay, this is where shit hits the fan. No pun intended, right? Mike, I don't know what the fuck happened. I've never done this in my career of bowling. I picked 3 off the right. I mean, I literally picked 3 off the right. I got nervous. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I felt like I felt like that scene in Greedy where Michael J. Fox like hit his ankle and it fucking went in the gutter. I shot 283. Okay. If anybody follows my Twitter, some random dude that I don't know takes a picture of my 283, right? Posted on Facebook 2 days later. Wasn't sure how to feel about that. I dropped it with your advice on Twitter because I was ready to go, Mike. I had the ammo in the gun on Facebook ready to go at this guy. I did it. The 41-year-old mature Rob did it. You talked me off the ledge. I think a lot of people on Twitter said, don't worry about it. It's good, whatever. Even Dick Allen chimed in and was like, yeah, man, it ain't worth it. All right. All right.
When Dick Allen tells you not to argue with someone online, just let it go.
Let it go. Okay. So here's the funny story I got to tell because this is hilarious. One of the USBC local people who runs the tournament, she was probably in her like late 80s. Okay. She was taking the money, whatever. Anyway, someone on my pair gets a 9 count. And it scores an 8. Okay. We're all standing around. There's like 5 of us around the computer. And I'm like, I'm just going to change over 9. We're all good. Everyone's like, yeah, change it to 9. I'm literally about to touch the screen. And all I hear is this lady come over. What are you doing? Like scolding me like I was in elementary school. Okay. I like look over and I look at her. And I swear to you, I started yelling, I'm turning the 8 into a 9. And I'm holding my fingers up. Right. Like, and she's just like, is everybody okay with this? And like, I was like getting scolded at, and everyone I'm like, dude, what is happening right now? The USBC tournament, hilarious. Okay. Long story. I'll cut right to it. I was a number. I was plus 48. Even bowling 283, I was plus 48. 215 the last game. I was the cut by like 7 pins. So I made the top 12. I bowled Dylan Taylor in my first match. He's been in the chat room before. He's a great bowler. He's won the New Mexico Open a couple years back. Gets to the 10th frame. It's a 2-game total match. 2-game total match. I won the first game by 8 pins, 2-0 to 190. They're tough for bowling the fresh again. Get to the 10th frame. Get to my fill ball. Okay. I need a strike to win the match. 9's a tie, 8's a loss. What do? Fucking chicken wing the shit out of it. Don't hit the head pin. I fucking leave a 1-2 and lost by a pin. Okay. Let me tell you something, Mike. My spare shooting is great right now. I think I might have missed maybe like 2 spares. I really need to work on my bowling under like pressure. Like I haven't been bowling for so long in these like situations that my anxiety is just so through the roof right now when I get to some of these really like high intense situations. And it'll come with time. The more I bowl tournaments, the more I make cuts and match play and stuff. But man, like it's brutal to leave that tournament. Kudos though to the USBC. Kudos. Because they paid, fantastic. There was 79 entries in the men's. They paid $1,500 for first. And I got $300 for making the top 12. And it was a $125 entry. So, yeah. Anyway.
And that's for the whole state of Arizona?
Arizona State Masters, they called it. I don't know. Okay. First time bowling it.
Only 79 guys.
And 20 and like something women. The women were bowling too.
Okay.
The women were, I think, were maybe like 30. I think. I don't even know. But they filled the whole house. 7 on a pair.
Okay.
So, anyway. Rob's league review.
House league. House league review.
House league review.
5-man teams.
5-man team. And you're going to laugh here. You're going to laugh.
What time does it start? What time does it start?
Practice 6:15. Practice.
Okay.
Starts.
All right. So you're done by 9:45.
9:30.
Right,
9:30.
okay.
Hour game. They're not that easy. They're not. They're easy, but they're not that easy. Okay. But it's also my first time bowling on that house shot. Honestly, it's probably the first time me bowling on a house shot in like years. Honestly. I bowled like 227, 237, 198 for 650 something, 657. We won like 25 out of like 35 points. And I'm establishing because I haven't had an average in like 7 years. I think that's a very successful night for me because especially since I'm establishing, the handicap is 90% of 230. So I will be getting handicap next week. Okay. I had a great time though. The guys I'm bowling with, Mike, dude, they're hilarious. They made me a shirt. Dude says Bad Boys on it. It's got a shark with a mohawk. It's a sick shirt, right? And dude, they're hilarious, man. We had a greght time. Buttriff bowled next to me. Okay, Buttriff bowls in the league.
In a house league?
House league.
Oh, Jesus.
He bowled like 670. Okay, so they're not that easy. They're not. They're easy, but they're not that easy. Like you would expect him at least to shoot like 750, right? He does it on a sports shot like it's his.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't always think that, especially somebody that has such a unique game as he does, I don't always think that what they do translates to the house stuff very well.
It doesn't.
I don't think, and we had this conversation on Twitter.
He said that. He told me. He said that. He told me that.
We had this same conversation on Twitter recently, and Barnes chimed in, and a couple other bowlers chimed in, but your brother being one of them. But yeah, I just don't think that the high level bowlers, it doesn't translate to what they're trying to do on the easy conditions. That's what drives me partly crazy about it, is that how you want to properly throw it. And I think Barnes kind of put it in the best context. It was like, house bowlers that are bowling on house or that have a lot of success on house, they're trying to delay the hook of the ball. Whereas bowlers who have a lot of success on the tougher shit, they're trying to create hook with the ball.
Well, his problem was that his ball was just doing like absolute backflips on the back of the lane. And I didn't think he really wanted to use urethane on the house shot. He didn't. And, okay. I mean, I understand that. But for me, like the first week of the league was just to understand the breakdown of when they break down, how they break down. Because you got 10 on a pair. And there's I bowl with a two-hander, and we really just absolutely screwed the lanes up. The team that we bowled against were so like, I remember the one guy said, "Wow, they're really dry." I mean, he wasn't playing right at 15, but like they were really dry. We dried them up really quick. So it's going to be an advantage for us because we're going to be able to move a lot left quicker, and everybody else is going to be like, "Holy crap, they're really dry." Anyway, so I had a great time, honestly, first week. The guys I'm bowling with are great. So yeah, I think we're going to do good in the league. For me, I'll average in the 220s. I don't see myself averaging higher than that because the carry is not very good. I'm plaque 10ing and I'm almost 710 twice. So I'm trying to get my reaction the right way. So that's my house shot league review. I'm not coming out here and saying that I'm going to average 240 because I'm not. There's way too many carry problems in that bowling center to average 240.
Okay.
Anyway,
let's continue. Let's continue on.
Let's talk about some what we can talk about the fraudulent conspiracy USBC article that Jeff Riggles wrote today.
No. Let's talk about Bolero's strong earnings first.
Ooh, yeah. Let's go stock. Come on,
Yeah.
Okay.
You selling? You selling yet?
No, dude. I'm not selling. I'm taking that to the
long
grave.
haul. This is a blue chipper to you. Bolero, blue chipper.
Apple, Tesla, Google, Amazon,
Bolero. Okay.
You know why Bolero is the blue chip stock? Let me tell you why. Because they haven't put $1 into the bowling centers around me. They haven't invested $1
because they charge $9 a game.
They charge $9 a game. They charge $19.95 for chicken fingers. Okay, they haven't invested $1 into the bowling centers that I bowled at. Bolero Via Linda, Bolero Mesa. Those two centers that their doorknobs are missing in the bathrooms. There's no ever any towels in the towel dispensers. I think there's stall doors missing. Okay, yet they're charging $9 for lineage, $6 for shoes, and they haven't put $1 into this. I will buy Bolero stock until I die because people are still going, they're still bowling, they're still spending money to bowl, and it's a good business. Why invest money if people are going to show up? And that's Bolero's motto, I guess. That should be their commercial. It says why make a really nice facility when people are going to show up anyway. Oh, and they don't run AC. So there you go.
Some bowlers on Twitter, Rob.
They raised his line.
Jeff is saying, Rob's brother, is saying he had his league meeting tonight, and Bolero, I think is what he meant to say, raised our league lineage to almost $5 a game. Still half price.
But here's the thing: is like
price.
you heard what like Theo said when we brought him in last week, that he runs the same bowling tournaments, and one's a Bolero facility and one's in a privately owned facility. If he had the same amount of entries in the privately owned facility that he did in the Bolero facility, he would have been able to pay out double for first place. It just shows you. It shows you what Bolero is doing. And this is not the end of this, is just the beginning of it. The more bowling centers that they're buying and they're acquiring centers, the more their stock is going to go higher, but the more the competitive bowling is going to suffer. Higher lineage.
I'm trying to put that in context. Like if you have a 20 team, let's say a 20 team league with 3-man teams, that's 60 people. 60. And you're charging $4 a game, right? So 60, so 183 games, right? Times 4, okay? 180 times 4. You're looking at $720 that Bolero is making off of that league. And that does not include alcohol sales, food sales, things of that nature. I mean, I'll be honest, that seems like a lot to me for them to be making from a league, from league bowlers. While you're sitting here talking and Jeff saying that, I'm actually thinking to myself, well, yeah, what would be the impact if Bolero said, you know what, we're really going to treat our league bowlers well. Lineage for our leagues is back down to $2 a game, and we're going to give league bowlers a $1 a game discount anytime you're in a league here. Come in and bowl for $1 a game.
Mike, what they should do? Honestly, first off, if they're filling the leagues, like the league that I bowled last night or Tuesday night, was filled wall to wall people. So why decrease the lineage if everybody's still showing up? You understand what I'm saying?
I hear sense. You, but I get it.
On the top of that, though, they might run more people, more leagues. They might be able to get. But you're right, though. If they did decrease the lineage to even $2.50 or $3 a game at this point, and they were able to, what if they kept the bar, right? If they kept the bar prices the same, right?
Right.
You could make all your money on the bar,
and food prices, right? Yeah. Like,
let me tell you something. I know for a fact, I one of my big clients for years was Dave & Buster's, right? Dave & Buster's, I would go to corporate. I would talk to them a lot. They would talk to me about where their sales are driven, right? And their sales are mostly from bar, like in the bar and the food. The games, the games are good. I mean, they still do well with the games, but most of the sales come from the bar. I mean, it's just always been how it is. Like, that's where your margins are. That's where food, like, lower the lineage. Look at the movie theaters, Mike. The movie theaters, they would charge you sometimes $8, $11 for a ticket, but the popcorn was fucking $15. So I'm just saying, all their money was made from the snack bar, and people would still buy it. So you keep the food, maybe the liquor the same, lower the lineage for the bowlers. I don't know. I don't know about business, Mike.
I'm also saying that if they had any interest or intent in helping grow that side of the game, which I don't really believe that they do. John Stevenson in the chat just said the PBA purchase makes them seem legitimate, Bolero, when they go buy up privately owned centers. And I agree with that generally, John. I think looking back and if I go and listen to the episode that we put out shortly after they bought the PBA, that was one of my points that, they could just be doing this just for the legitimacy of saying, oh, well, we own, we're the home of professional bowling and we own professional bowling, So, yeah, disappointing to see. But, there were bowlers on Twitter, Rob.
Oh,
there, there were bowlers on Twitter insinuating that better earnings for Bolero means better prize funds for the bowlers and the PBA.
Mike, if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. Honestly, come on, man. After what we talked about last week about the speculations of Bolero actually cutting PBA Tour tournaments out, you think they're going to start putting more money into the PBA? No. Do you know where all that money is going, Mike? It's going into the executives' pockets, and it's going into all. They might invest a little bit. They might put some bowling. Put some investments back into the centers. I would hope so. I would love to have a doorknob on a bathroom and in a faucet, to turn the water on. That would be nice. Or even like a clean approaches. I mean, God, some of the dirtiness of just these centers are so bad. I hate it so much.
So you just brought this up about the schedule, and Nico was in the chat earlier saying, after last week, I heard the PBA schedule is slow to get out because Fox is slow to get them the dates, and they want a 2-year schedule. Thoughts? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that.
A 2-year schedule? Wouldn't that be nice if they actually came out with a 2-year schedule instead of a year-to-year schedule? How cool would that be to actually plan to go to some of these tournaments in like a 2-year advance? Huh. Mind-blowing, huh? That concept.
Jimmy strongly saying, let the mechanics poop in buckets if it means more profits. That's an inside joke around here. If you haven't been with us long, we like to in our earlier iterations of this podcast, we like to tell stories about mechanics pooping in buckets because they often, with boxes actually was my story, but they often like to get down like that. So, all right, Rob, you already alluded to the next piece of bowling material that we wanted to get to this week, and that is the article bomb that a Rickle bomb went off today. You have Woj bombs. You have Woj bombs in the NBA. We got Rickle bombs in the bowling world. So Rickles put out an article today. Do you want to get into the detail of it here, Rob?
Yeah. I don't want to get yelled at for getting the facts wrong on the Riggles. What I like to call it, Mike, is the speculation article, because I feel like from reading the article,
are you saying he's speculating?
I mean,
because he's usually the one saying we're speculating. So are you saying he's speculating? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's fair to say probably, right? Like, yeah. Like, I mean, just from reading it, I don't think there's facts backing up that Chad Murphy runs the board of directors is pretty much what he's insinuating from his article. I mean, right? I mean, is that really a high level of what his article was about?
Listen, I read the article. To me, there wasn't much. There was a lot of insinuation.
Speculation
speculation, connecting the dots.
Right.
But there doesn't seem to be much proof. Yes, juice box. Sorry, people. It's all I had. It's all I had in the house. Juice box. Gotta have something.
In Jeff's defense, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, I mean, right? I mean, he makes some good points here, but it does have interesting enough. Two people that I'm friends with. I know Stu's wife Tina is mentioned in the article, who's on the board of directors. Bo Gergen, who is a friend of mine since I went to college out in Saginaw when I was 18, who owned Northern Lanes in Midland, Michigan, who is an Eagle winner and an amazing bowler, and as well as an amazing bowling proprietor. Okay, his center was run fantastic for the high level bowler, for the league centers. So Interesting enough that what pretty much Jeff is insinuating is the fact that that's the if you cross Chad the wrong way, he's going to pull strings to move you into certain committees. And he also insinuated that since his contract, or I guess his re-election is coming up soon, right in the next year, that he controls a lot of the voting behind the scenes. I mean, is he talking some kind of like conspiracy? I mean, like that Chad is in
The way I
reality.
read it is that he's claiming that if you seem like you are going to be in disagreement with Chad, he will alienate you in terms of your position and involvement on the USBC board and its committees. I mean, that's what I gathered from the article. And he used Stu's wife, Tina Williams, and he used Bo Gergen as the examples of that. Now, he also said in the article that he broke Bullygate in 2018 or 2019, and that Bo Gergen and him, and these are Jeff's words, I believe, had a falling out over the publishing of that article because Bo Gergen disagreed with Jeff's assessment of that situation. So I don't know. Have things changed between Bo Gergen and Chad then? Is that what I'm to read in Jeff's article? And he's now alienated? So,
Mike, why? So Kevin Davis writes in the chat, if you disseminate, Chad throws you into the gulag. That's what Jeff said. Why is all of a sudden there's like some Russian, like some, like, I know Jeff posted it about the Politburo, right? About how like, Chad runs the USBC like the Politburo, and
because the connection is a dictatorship, is it not?
Yeah. But now it's the gulag and the Politburo. Like,
well,
obviously,
that's what the dictators do.
Chad has really pissed in Jeff's Cheerios more than once, right? Because Jeff does not like Chad Murphy. I mean, it is, well known, right? But this article, after reading it, I said, holy shit, he does not like the USBC and what they're doing.
Jimmy commenting that the gulag is in the basement of the bowling stadium. It's in the basement. There's a bunch of people chained down there, slaving away, chopping balls.
You know, it would be an amazing show. And, you know, I'm throwing this challenge out to all of the bowling shows and podcasts out there. We get Chad and Jeff on at the same time.
Oh, boy.
Let them go at it.
Oh, my God.
Get Stu to get Tina on with Chad and Jeff Riggles, and let's settle this on our show. They could settle on Beef and Barnsey.
They want to come on here. Open invite to come on here and get into it. No question.
Let's put them in a ring. We'll get some gloves on. I don't care how we settle it, but you know, they're both pretty good bowlers. Why don't we settle it on the lanes, right? I would be, hey, like, could you imagine?
No. This is a war of words. This is a war of words and of
Charlie Top,
of convictions.
Top just died. Coincidence? I don't know, man. There's some stuff going on, man. I don't know. Anyway, so if you want to read the article, it's on Jeff Riggles, his blog, 11frame.com. I believe it is a closed article, so I think you do have to subscribe to it.
You got to buy the blog. You got to buy the blog.
Jeff is a very good writer, you know, and he does a good job in coming down to a lot of the articles and stories. You know, sometimes we have our disagreements with Jeff, more than one disagreement. But I think ultimately, like, us and Jeff are aligned that we want bowling to succeed and be better. And sometimes we just have different opinions, and that's why, you know, that's why it's so great, right? We could express our opinions. He could express his opinion. Sometimes it gets heated, but ultimately we're still, like, I think, fans of each other's content.
But we're not journalists.
We're not journalists. We're speculators.
And he is. He is.
Yeah. Oh, Greg, you missed the first
Greg, you're so
45
far
minutes
behind.
of the show.
You're so
Yeah,
far
go watch
behind.
the first
We
40
talked
minutes
about it
of the
already.
show.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to come on and do a recap, we'll have you on sometime soon. Hope all is well. I'm not going to lie to you, Greg. I complained about how hot it was in the bowling alley. So
Come
did
on,
Rob
Greg.
at the tournament that he was at.
So you got
Okay.
to get Bolero in
So-
order over there. What is going on with the AC?
No, it wasn't a
Big thing-
Bolero center, actually. It wasn't a Bolero center. It was
Oh,
Hal. It was Hal Lane's, privately owned.
Oh, they're
You
not.
know,
a
and
Bolero.
usually very cool when I go there. So, yeah, you know.
Dude, the way I'm throwing the ball right now, Tack don't want any piece of me. He don't want that smoke. He don't want that smoke.
Be a good action match.
Unless he gets me under pressure, and then I'm gonna fold like a fucking $3. I'm gonna fold like a cheap suit under pressure right now these days. But I'm gonna redeem myself at the tap this weekend, Mike.
All right, let's give the people what they want, Rob. I feel like it's worst of the week season because
Yeah,
I have so many
season.
candidates for worst of the week, and they're coming out of everywhere. They're not even candidates just from the bowling world. It's like candidates from the education world, Twitter education. It's just worst of the week all over the place. Nico's asking in the chat if I saw that Bill's going to be at Hal this week, and I did. I may make it over there tomorrow to say what's up and check in. I may not. It depends on my daughter's soccer practice schedule. So I got to see how things go tomorrow. But all right, you want to go first, or you want me to go first, Rob? Mayan, honest God, Mayan might be an all-time classic worst of the week. But I had so many different directions I could have gone in. So.
Let me pull this up because I'm gonna share this real quick. So I guess let me go first because yours is probably gonna be a lot better than mine, but I feel like you're gonna really like mine. So let me share it real quick here. Let me find it. So congrats to Jack Ness on the Deviate Bowling site. He writes, the Deviate Bowling collision never lets me down, even after shooting 122 the game before. Make sure you pick one up. It looks good going down the lane. Mike, you're now becoming a patch pirate.
What?
Even after bowling 122.
What did he shoot? 300?
No, he didn't say it.
Oh.
He just said that it just looks great even after he bowled 122. And that was pretty much it. Like,
well, I'm glad it looks great. Clearly,
so everybody go to your pro shop and pick up that bowling ball because even after a 122, you'll be able to bowl pretty good. So.
Okay. Mayan goes to Johnny Young. Johnny Young on the Hammer Bowling Facebook group page. Johnny Young. I actually have to show my phone for this one.
Oh, I see that. The tattoo.
Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
And he says, nothing hits like a hammer. Raider Nation. My man got the hammer. My man got the hammer logo tattooed on his arm.
Yes, I like that though. That's pretty. Actually, I think that's pretty cool.
He got the hammer logo tattooed on his arm, son.
I kind of like that.
I mean, listen. Ultimate Patch Pirate is right, Jimmy. Ultimate Patch Pirate is right. Now, Subway was given free subs for life for somebody who got their logo tattooed on them. Where's Brunswick at? Brunswick, you up? Where's Brunswick at? This guy doesn't deserve free bowling balls for getting a hammer tattoo.
Russell, maybe he's also a carpenter.
That would be a good scam.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, fair point, no doubt.
What if since I'm a Belmo patch pirate, what if I got a Belmo logo tattoo?
I would find that extremely strange if you had a Belmo logo tattoo. I'm not going to lie to you.
You know, maybe what if I just come in and just boom, you know, Belmo tattoo right on my arm.
Yeah,
Would I
an AMF tattoo definitely wouldn't have aged well, right? You'd be stuck. You know, Mo Rich
Yeah,
tattoo as well. That
a new
that would
line,
be gone.
you know, a new line, you know. I mean, uh yeah, not good.
I don't know though. I had to give that worst of the week. Why are we getting bowling logos tattooed on us, yo?
Yo, I've seen that
Come on.
before. Oh well.
Rob should get a make them fly tramp stamp. he should get it tattooed right across his lower back.
What about if I got the word boom on my stomach? You know?
Terrible.
Funny stuff.
Spag saying Brunswick only pays you when you tattoo it on your neck. Okay. They want full commitment. They want you to know that you're basically taking yourself out of gainful employment everywhere else, and you're stuck with the bowling game for a while. Oh, geez. All right, Rob. Final thoughts.
None. Just gonna be bowling next couple days. I'll give a report on my Twitter, BrooklynRob11. This tat is different than the other tats because there's an open division. So anybody can bowl in the open division. Fortunately for me, I'm in the amateur division. So, you know, the strict tat eligibility requirements to still be eligible to bowl is in effect for the amateur divisions. But the open division, you'll see a lot of like pros bowling. I think Cortez is bowling, Wesley's bowling when I talk to them. And I'm sure you'll see a lot of the West Coast big guns bowling this week. So yeah.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thanks,
Bowl well. I got some birthday parties and other things to attend to this weekend, so we're a bit busy, especially with the work starting and school year starting on Tuesday for the kiddos.
Someone says to go to the tat.
Yeah, I'll bet you they'd be open to give you free squads for a tattoo for a tat.
Yo, give me a free squad for life. I'll put that shit on my fucking forehead.
Yo, did you people hear that? Somebody tagged the
Jamie
McWilliams who runs the tat. You know, he might want to take Rob up on that.
He probably would do it too. He probably would do it. My mom would absolutely shit herself, but I would be bowling free for the rest of my life. So screw it.
Yo, listen, hit us up on social media. He's at BrooklynRob11. I'm at the 215th. Hit us up in email, sweeptherack@gmail.com. We appreciate everybody joining us in the chat. Don't hesitate to reach out with your thoughts. Let us know what's going on. And Rob, good luck this weekend. Thanks. And we'll see everybody around.
Peace. Later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.